What can UK commuters into London, out of London, expect today?
Well, you're right. It's a hub for London. It's a hub for the UK, King's Cross. And you can see the board, or at least I can see the board, and I can tell you that it's largely blank. And that's because Network Rail tell us about 80% of the services, 80% of the services across the UK will grind to a halt today. That's because the train drivers are striking. And it's not just the train drivers, Manus. This is what's important about today's action. It is the first time that the major unions are coordinating. As you mentioned, the teachers' union, one of the major unions there, they are also striking. They have a mandate to strike as well. You're also seeing the border force as well. So you should expect disruptions around airports and ports of the UK. So it is a major step up in terms of around 6 months of strike action, already the most severe that we've seen since the 1990s. 100,000 civil servants also had the mandate to strike as well. In total, as you say, close to 500,000 people. The disruption is going to be significant across the railways, across the schools. Thousands of those will be closed. And again, in ports and airports across the UK. The unions say this is about addressing the cost of living crisis for their members. Inflation running at 10.5% here in the UK. Public sector pay has increased about 3%. That disconnect is what they want to close. They say the pressure, the pain on their members is real. They want the government to take action.
Why isn't the government taking action? Or put in another way, Tom, why has this just continued after so long of strikes now? Any sort of agreement to be so elusive?
Well, you cast your eye or your mind back a couple of months, and there were signals, there were signs that maybe on some of these issues, whether it was nursing or other parts of these disputes, that the government was moving the needle, that it was at least moving in the direction of more constructive talks. That has now, it seems, come to a close, at least for now. What you're hearing from the unions is that essentially these talks are roadblocked. They have not moved in the last few weeks. The government's consistent line is this: if you go with these double-digit pay hikes, and that's what most of the unions are asking for, double-digit pay hikes, if you go for that, then what you're going to be doing is entrenching inflation across this economy and causing more pain for more people. We heard from one of the senior leaders at the National Union around education, and they said that this whole idea around inflation is a nonsense. Take a listen.
No price has to go up because a teacher gets a pay rise. There's no direct impact on inflation. There are no prices linked to teacher salaries. And we don't accept that argument.
We also heard from ASLEF, they're the train drivers union, just to bring it back to where we are here at King's Cross. They say that the situation now in terms of the talks with the government are actually worse than they have been in the last 6 months, the worst in the last 6 months. So that just shows you the roadblocks that we're facing in terms of these discussions. We've got further strikes planned on Friday by the rail drivers, the train drivers, and then coordinated strikes between NHS staff, the nurses and ambulances next week. So the disruption for the UK economy, for households and businesses, is only going to continue.